What's up, guys? You know what it is. It's your boy Ruben, new week, new video. And you know how we do. I'm going to cover everything that's pretty much, relevant, important NFL Week 8 that just passed. And let's just go ahead and get the bad out the way, rip the Band-Aid off. The Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson-less Seahawks, went ahead and destroyed us 31-7. It was a pretty embarrassing effort. I got to lay this right at the hands of the feet of Urban Meyer because we had 2 weeks to prepare for this. I understand Seattle's a tough place to play, but that is a team that doesn't have a great defense, albeit having some great defenders in Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. They don't have, corners really to speak of. I mean, this was a game that, while I don't expect to win any week, but this was a game that I definitely expected to be more competitive. What were we preparing for the last 2 weeks to put that effort out there on the field? Now, a lot of things I think are schematically wrong. We didn't block well, which in turn, doesn't help our rookie quarterback, which I've said is the kind of quarterback that just is not going to do well with pressure. And I know you guys are going to say, well, what quarterback does? But some quarterbacks know how to. I've harped on this that they're force multipliers. They're the kind of quarterback that seems to uplift everything around them and make people play kind of beyond themselves. Trevor Lawrence isn't that. We're going to have to build a certain way. I've been saying this all season around him. We definitely are going to have to harp on getting a better O line to protect him. And we're going to have to get him a number one wide receiver. I love DJ Chark. I don't want to see him go. I hope he can be that number one receiver, but definitely need to get him somebody that he can rely on, that, hey, break open in case of emergency, he could just throw it up to, and that receiver is going to make a play. A la like an Allen Robinson did for Blake Bortles. So we didn't block well. We lost James Robinson. Hopefully, I'm hearing he's day to day. Hopefully, he'll be back. And in the defense, I've been saying this all season. I don't understand. I want to see Cisco out there. I don't know why, we're protecting him. It's been well over a year since the ACL injury. And I don't know why we feel like he's not ready. He can't do any worse than what Wingard is doing. And Rayshawn, I've been fine with him as strong safety, but I don't like the combination of him and Wingard. We essentially have two box safeties, which means you have a super highway in the middle of the field, especially when you're trying to bring on a rookie corner in Tyson Campbell, which a lot of people are jumping off the bandwagon. But I'm telling you guys, corner's a tough position. I think he's going to be a good one. He has the physical, tools to go ahead and make sure that happens. So I'm not too worried about him. I knew there was going to be growing pains. I said we should definitely watch for growth, not for W's. Okay. So this wasn't a game that you can take much from. This is one of those that you kind of got to throw away. But where it's concerning is that, I'm not seeing growth. The Miami game, I thought we played very well, albeit Miami's not the greatest team. But, Trevor Lawrence reverted back to some bad habits. He threw an awful pick early in the game that I guess he just didn't see the safety. And then he was forced into making some mistakes, which is, a result of the pressure. So that's that. I mean, let's just move on to a better subject like our Cowboys, which you see the Cowboy hat in the back. The Cowboys went ahead and beat Minnesota 20-16, and we did it without Dak. So that is great news. I definitely think it's an indictment on Kirk Cousins. I've never been a fan of his, and his record on primetime TV is just not good. So I'm glad we were able to pull that one out. However, it's not all roses for me on the Cowboys side. Trevon Diggs late, injured an ankle. Hopefully he's going to be okay. But so Cooper Rush did throw for over 300 yards. All right. Here's where the concerns come in. The coaching is a problem for me. And while defensively we're improved and we got players playing out of their mind on defense, we definitely did our thing keeping Minnesota in check, a very good Minnesota offense in check. But the play calling, when you have a backup quarterback in, and again, yes, Cooper Rush threw for 300 yards, but like half those yards came with with like two plays. We had like a 75 to 80 yard play to Cedric Wilson where he did hit him in stride. It was a very good throw and catch, but Cedric Wilson, basically did the rest. And we had another one where Amari Cooper made that crazy acrobatic catch that set us up to basically win the game. But if you really look at it, that was a pass that should have been intercepted, which might have sealed the game. And then we got bailed out. I think number 85, Noah Brown, I believe. He fumbled the ball, but luckily we got bailed out by a face mask. And then here's what bothered me was we didn't run the ball not one time on that drive. I know we won the game, but these are things that better teams are going to take advantage of. We had a rookie, not a rookie, but a backup quarterback in who had only had like a few snaps previously. And we have the kind of run game that we have, and we just kept chucking the ball. It worked out this time. Great. And we got bailed out a couple different ways on that drive. So, I mean, great we pulled it out, but Mike McCarthy, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing really? Not only should you have run the ball just, to protect the quarterback, but the Vikings shouldn't have had as much time as they had to even try to come back. That's the way I see it. If not for Zeke getting a critical first down on third and long, where he had to basically make two guys miss and drag another two for the first down, that might have been a different game. And that's where coaching comes down, and just our talent really bailed our coach out. These are things that better teams are going to take advantage of. We can't coach this way against the Green Bays, against the Tampa Bays, against the LA Rams. These are teams that are going to exploit those mistakes. So keep that in mind. In other news, Packers cut Jalen Smith. I'm definitely sorry to hear that. As a guy I'm rooting for, I didn't understand necessarily why we cut him. I know we had a logjam at a linebacker, but I'd rather keep him on the bench for depth purposes as opposed to just cutting him. But the knock on him was he didn't seem to know what he was doing. And I don't know if he got a little too high and read his press clippings after that Pro Bowl season he had, but he seemed to kind of be out of place. And I thought last year had a lot more to do with we were playing him in a scheme he wasn't accustomed to. But this year he didn't do much better, and you can make the argument that he kind of may have lost a step. I still think he's got decent speed, decent size, but I would imagine that Green Bay let him go because he just wasn't picking up the defense. And as a middle linebacker, that's a problem. If your middle linebacker doesn't know what he's doing, then you have a big hole in the middle of the field. So I wish well for Jalen Smith. Maybe we pick him up for depth purposes. We did have Jabril Cox, who left the game with an injury. So we're still good in linebacker, but can never use too much depth in my mind. And other news, trade deadline passed. Some notable names didn't move. Fletcher Cox, which I would have loved to see leave the division. He didn't leave the division, so unfortunately, we got to deal with that. But Philly's so bad, I don't think it's going to matter. I would have liked to see him leave regardless, though. Von Miller went to the LA Rams. Have no idea how the Rams keep doing it. They don't want to draft, and I've been calling for an implosion for quite some time, mainly because what we're seeing is unprecedented. I've never seen a team forfeit the draft as much as they have and keep signing and trading for big, high-priced free agents. Now, in this particular instance, it's my understanding the Broncos went ahead and paid like $9 million of his $9.7 million salary, but the Rams are saying they want to sign him after the season. They're going to be pretty scary to deal with. I think they're our biggest threat when it comes to the playoffs. Talent-wise, like Aaron Donald, Von Miller, that's Jalen Ramsey. They're going to be a monster to deal with later, but we'll see. I thought we took them down to the wire last year when our defense was awful. So I'm. It's going to be a fun game to see. Hopefully, we end up locking up the number one seed, and it'll be in Dallas. And if we lock up the number one seed, anything can happen, guys. So there's that. What other news do we got? If you guys have any questions or anything you definitely want to discuss, make sure you definitely hit the like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe so you can get these videos. And let's go ahead and just debate, chat, whatever. I'm down for whatever. Jets upset Cincinnati. That was crazy. Tennessee lost Derrick Henry, but they did sign AP. And I'm a big Adrian Peterson fan, so I think while he won't be Derrick Henry, but I think he's going to go a little understated what Adrian Peterson can do. In my opinion, he's the best running back that I've ever seen with my own two eyes. I know, shout out to Jim Brown and a lot of other running backs, Emmitt Smith and Sweetness, but Adrian Peterson was the best running back I've seen with my own two eyes. So some of those guys I didn't get a chance to see. So don't be offended if you're a big fan of those guys. It's just my opinion. Um, Tampa Bay took big L to NO, but they lost their quarterback. New Orleans is going to be an interesting team. That defense is really good. So, but with no offense, Taysom Hill's probably going to take the Rams. I'm not too scared of them for Cowboys purposes, of course. And the Chiefs. What the hell? That team seems broken. I mean, they barely squeaked out of the Giants game, and it really took Daniel Jones just being Daniel Jones in order for them to win that game, because Daniel Jones had an opportunity to drive down the field against a very not so good defense and win the game. What else? What else? Melvin Ingram traded to the Chiefs, which I think it's a good move in that you're adding more talent to the Chiefs. I thought it was one of the dumbest things ever that they moved Chris Jones to defensive end. He's clearly a defensive tackle. He's best used as a defensive tackle. He's not a great defensive end. So putting Melvin Ingram on the edge with Frank Clark and putting Chris Jones where he's comfortable, you're going to shore up the D line, which is going to help a lot, especially with the run game. Melvin Ingram's a pretty good run defender. But their biggest problem, in my opinion, is their secondary. Sorensen was terrible as safety, and they have no notable linebackers from which to speak of. They're starting, I think, a rookie middle linebacker. Hopefully he develops quick, but that defense is not a very good one. And with the way the offense is sputtering, Andy Reid, we know this of him. He doesn't like to run the ball, which I think would help Patrick Mahomes a lot if they ran a little more, especially to take the heat off them while they're kind of in this slump, which will set up play action with Tyreek, which will set up, things for Travis Kelce. I see an offense that's broken. I see Patrick Mahomes trying too hard. He threw an interception, and while it bounced off, it went through Josh Gordon's hands, bounced off, I think, Jerick McKinnon, and it got picked. He didn't have to throw it the way he threw it. And then there was another touchdown he threw to Tyreek Hill, but if you look at the play, Travis Kelce was wide open. I think Patrick Mahomes is starting to press. He's starting not to trust his eyes, and he's starting to revert back to a lot of the things in his scouting report, which is he can be a little reckless with the ball and just rely on his athleticism. Sometimes you got to make the smart play, and I think this is a struggle for them. And combine that with the bad defense, you're seeing a perfect storm. They spent all that money on offense and none on defense. Come on, Andy Reid. We've seen this in Philly. This is why you're not there anymore. Get that team together so we can see, a more exciting AFC playoffs. Because with the Chiefs looking the way they do and the Browns looking the way they do, it looks like I previously stated, it's Bills division to lose, conference to lose. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. Like I said, subscribe. Put your questions in the comments. Put your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Appreciate all the love and attention, guys. Until next time. Peace.